Dr Anu Mundkur, Manager, Prevention Implementation, Media and Workplaces.
Essentially, primary prevention is about stopping violence before it starts. One way to visualize primary prevention is to imagine a river. At the bottom of the river are people drowning. This is crisis mode. And all we can do at this stage is to try and save as many lives as possible. This is a tertiary response stage. Being in a crisis mode all the time is exhausting, and the grim reality is that we will not be able to save everyone, no matter how hard we try. Further upstream, people are still in trouble, but they're not drowning, and our focus is helping them not to drown. This is the stage of early intervention. What this means is that people are already in situations where they need help, but it hasn't yet escalated into a crisis, and we are really focused at this stage on stopping them from going into crisis mode. Even further upstage, we can focus on interventions that address what is driving this crisis in the first place. That is, what is causing people to jump into the river. So here we are addressing crisis before it starts and trying to stop it before it occurs. Keeping with the drowning example, maybe it's about giving people swimming lessons so that they don't drown, or better signage warning people about a dangerous cliff. We are focused on averting the crisis. This is primary prevention. We need an investment across all three levels: primary prevention, early intervention, and crisis response. It's not really a competition about where the funding should go or where the focus should be. Each level performs an important and vital function in addressing and eliminating violence against women. To properly explain men's violence against women as a widespread social problem, we need explicit social analysis. Taking a socio-ecological approach helps with such analysis. Socioecology is a field of study that looks at complex relationships between people and the environment, emphasizing the interconnectedness of social structures, ecological systems, and human behavior. A socioecological approach helps us explain why some women or groups of women experience higher rates of violence than others. Visually, the socioecological model is represented by concentric circles. The model views violence against women as an outcome of interaction among many factors at different levels: the individual and relationship level, the organizational and community level, the system and institutional level, and finally the societal level. It demonstrates how these factors reinforce one another at each of these levels, and therefore why we need to take whole-of approaches to addressing gender inequality and preventing violence against women. The socioecological model helps us see how gender inequality occurs across all these levels of the social ecology and create conditions for violence to occur. So to prevent violence against women at the individual level, our activities might include things like training that changes the attitudes and beliefs in individual journalists and supports them to know how to better report on violence against women. At the community level, prevention can look like media reporting on work being done by community groups or sporting clubs, as such efforts to promote gender equality and respect seek to change attitudes and behaviors that condone or justify or excuse violence. Media organizations and media executives working to address gender inequality in their organization is an example of initiatives working at the organizational level. Institutional and systemic examples might look like media alerting and educating the public about where legislative changes are needed, such as the #LetHerSpeak campaign, which worked to abolish sexual assault victim gag laws in the Northern Territory, Tasmania, and Victoria. And finally, reporting, which works to challenge gender norms that cause violence, including by showing the diversity of experiences and expressions that exist in our country, or reporting that highlights that overwhelmingly people want to live in safety and free from violence, are examples of work that we can do at the societal level.
For more information on preventing violence against women, see ourwatch.org.au.